Water, earth, fire, air. Long ago, a TV show amazed millions. Then, everything changed when I found out my friends hadn't seen it. Only Netflix, master of all forms of streaming, could help them. And when we needed it most, it added all 3 seasons. Not even 100 seconds passed before I convinced my friends to start it. And although their binge watching skills are great, they have a lot to go before they've completed the entire show. But I believe they are going to love it. Welcome to the podcast where Olivia and I are forcing these two to watch Avatar: The Last Airbender for the first time.
And amongst these ranks, who on this gosh darned heck are we?
I'm Daniel Hudson.
I'm Nora Jones.
I'm Olivia Weeks.
And I'm also here.
Great.
That you are. So guys, we finished up book 2.
Woo!
How does it feel to be 2/3 of the way through the show?
It feels surreal because we started this not too long ago, but I know that if I started without this format, the structure, I would have been finished weeks ago. And I like this a whole lot better than just flat out binge watching.
I think it's been good just to get your thoughts every few episodes.
Absolutely.
And so, speaking of episodes, we watched 4 this time to finish off the season. Lake Laogai, The Earth King, The Guru, and The Crossroads of Destiny. And we mentioned before the podcast, they were kind of like a mini movie.
Yeah.
They flowed that well together. I feel like we don't have to talk about them as separate episodes if you guys want to just jump right into everything.
Dude.
Yeah, let's just jump right into it.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a little recap of the beginning or something.
So,
Well, maybe we should do them as individual episodes then.
Lake Laogai is where they find out that Jet was brainwashed,
Yes.
and they have to go to Lake Laogai to get Appa back. And then Zuko tries to take Appa, and then Iroh kind of... Oh, Iroh gets his tea shop, too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, his own tea shop.
He's offered the tea shop first
Yes.
because Zuko's still edgy.
A very generous offer.
Yeah.
We'll give you complete freedom to do whatever you want. We'll give you a nice house in the best part of the city. Your nephew can come too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Make
just
tea.
take 90% of your profits.
I felt really bad for the guy he was working for though, because he's the one that made his place so booming, and now he's gonna go back to being poor.
He shouldn't have
Yeah.
had nasty tea.
Well, here's the thing. You have to do better than offering assistant manager positions to the best.
assistant to the regional
He's like,
manager.
you can be assistant manager.
Senior assistant manager. Executive senior assistant manager.
He was really bargaining. He was really trying his best.
Because he knows his tea's nasty.
He jumped right to that stage of grief.
Not for
He
me.
said, please stay, please stay.
I felt for
I
him.
see what you did there.
felt bad.
And then they go to Lake Laogai, and then they end up getting Appa back, because
Well,
Zuko...
first of all, they're reunited with Judy.
Nobody
I-
cares about Judy.
I care
It's
about
Judy.
I
There
care
were so many Judys in Lake Laogai.
Yeah,
Actually, I wanted to talk about that shot, because I love the shot where it was, going out.
Oh, when
Like
they
their
simulated
eyes.
a wide-angle lens.
Yes!
yeah, that was
Love it.
spooky.
It's like, what's that TikTok trend where they're like, put some more. Don't be shy, put some more.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
Enjoy
First of
TikTok
all,
while it lasts, because it's about to be banned. No, I'm just
It was
kidding.
supposed to be banned today.
It was supposed to be banned 2 days ago. I don't.
You're playing with our emotions.
That is
Well,
the
Daniel and I don't do TikTok, so
Just TikTok. The president has
Well-
invited you to Lake Laogai.
I would tell you, it looks exactly like the shot that the Judies were doing. Just exactly.
Olivia, that's from James Charles.
Well, there you go.
No, I know who that is because he's one of those like people who's always in hot drama water.
Oh, the tea.
It does.
There's so much tea with him.
Tea?
Yeah, it's old tea though.
Oh, tea is like drama, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, Jared.
You're in too much of an Iroh mode. You can't see tea as anything other than tea.
No, I don't know. Like I've heard people say that's the tea or whatever.
No, you knew that because you told me you used it on your class before. You're just like unprogressing. What is it?
The opposite of progress.
Well, you know who's making good progress? Zuko.
Yeah.
Well,
Or so
Until
we
he
think.
doesn't.
Until he doesn't.
In Lake Lao Gai, he lets Appa go, and Appa is able
Seems-
to save the entire gang,
Nah.
yeets Long Fang into the water like a skimming stone.
That was great. I was wondering what your reaction
It's
would
like-
be.
I can handle him myself. Chomp. Throw. Goodbye.
I feel like we've skimmed over a very important subject to me, and we haven't discussed it. Appa is back, people. It didn't
He's
take
back.
long. I was so glad it happened in one of the first episodes. I don't remember if it was the first or second, but I cheered. It was a grand moment. I was going to have to kill Daniel for some reason if Appa didn't come back. And I'm glad I no longer have to do that. I love you, Daniel, but like
Yay.
something bad would happen.
I was very excited when
It was a great
he returned.
And he flew in like the fluffy queen that he is. Ugh, that swoop. He just swooped in. I'm like, yes, queen.
Swooped in,
He
tore
saved them
through
all.
2 rock walls. Just absolutely decimated the Dai Li. Without even
Oh.
really
Punks.
trying.
They had it coming.
Jet dies.
Jet
Oh,
does die. I feel like they kind of.
It was like, oh yeah.
that was
I
tragic.
feel like
I have
we
a feeling
should-
this is one of Olivia's favorite episodes just because Jet dies.
Like, okay, I don't hate the man. I don't hate his character, but I just felt like it was a necessary death.
It was necessary death.
It was
Listen,
a necessary death.
I was thinking Jet had finally, gotten good. He got that weed thing out of his mouth. I'm sorry, but
The dang.
Jet was hotter than he's ever been. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
Jet is so hot. And then he died, and I was like,
No, don't die. You're too hot.
You're too sexy. Don't die.
and then like 2 episodes later, I like was like, where's Jet? Oh, and I forgot.
Yeah.
that he had
He was
died.
lying when he lying when he said he was going to be fine.
Yeah,
Which
can we
also-
talk about-
Oh, Toph.
Yeah, Toph's a
has,
lie
like,
detector.
Toph has like this superpower we didn't know about till now. Like, what the heck?
It's just part of earthbending.
Well, like she can
It's her
feel.
seismic sense with the vibrations.
Yeah.
She can just... That just translates to heartbeats and breathing rate as well.
Yeah, but I feel like we could have used this sooner.
Didn't she
What's
mention something about it a few episodes back?
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like she did. And then they skipped it until like this episode, and then she used it more.
I don't think it was really mentioned before because, I mean, they've never really needed to detect a lie before.
Yeah.
No, I feel like she used it once. I'll have to
Oh.
find it.
No, I don't think
If
so.
you find it, let me know because I honestly can't think of if that was or not.
Anyway, Jet, rip in peace.
Yep.
We hardly knew ye.
It breaks out of mind control, immediately dies. Hard knock life, man.
Truly. Okay, what?
Anyway,
Also, big battle this
King.
episode underground.
Yes.
yes. The
There
Daily
was so
versus-
much action in these 4 episodes.
Oh, yeah. The Daily versus the Yang Gang and Smeller B and... What was the other one?
Long
What was
shot.
his name? Long Shot, yeah. Who can now talk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, long shot talks to let you know things are serious.
Yeah, like, got real.
He pulled a Ferb.
I thought the way Jet like died was kind of stupid just because, hear me out. He is obviously like this fighting machine and like takes out armies at a time, and then he gets hit by one rock and dies.
I mean, if
I mean,
you get
Longfang
hit
is-
by a rock in the right place hard enough, you're gonna die.
And then why didn't Katara use her special water on him?
You really want us to answer
plot
that question?
reasons.
You really want us to answer that
Like
question?
I know it has to be used. for
The truth
later,
is, she just didn't want to save him.
That's the truth.
and she could have stayed. She could have stayed and like kept healing. Like, she was just like, oh, it's bad guys. Okay, well, peace out.
I mean,
Nora, what's that thing you
Implication.
people do where you like you put your hand on your forehead and you like look the other way?
I
Like,
pretend I do not see.
well, here's the
Yeah.
thing.
Y'all,
Like,
I have. Wait, I think Jarron sent it to me, the top one.
I did.
So- Look, I think the implication with Jet really was his ribs got crushed, might have even punctured a lung. They just can't actually say or show that on
Kid show.
Nickelodeon.
I did have a thought during that sequence. I kind of wish there was a PG-13 version of this with a little more.
If this had been able to air on another network,
Yeah, like on Adult Swim or something. Maybe, well, not for adults, but like just a little more. I'm not saying like blood and guts and stuff.
like
but,
Toonami.
like, yeah. That's a good example.
I don't know if I would have wanted this on Adult Swim.
That's why I said not.
That would have
It
been
wouldn't fit in.
no.
It's
That's
not
a
really an
different breed
Adult Swim
of
show, but
punishment.
Toonami would have been a good spot for it. Nobody
I'm
would have
just
watched
saying
it, but
some
Toonami,
punches a bit less bold for being a kid show.
yeah.
Because we did just see a fairly major character die on screen. Oh, and later
You're
on,
being
spoilers.
generous right now.
I was about to say
He's a side
Uh,
character.
He's a side character, but
He's
later
been
on
in
we
what,
see the
5
main
episodes?
character almost die.
He was really hot though. He went out in his
We
prime.
know.
Nora
We
said
know
he
your
took.
affection for Jet.
Maybe he should have took it in the face just so Nora would stop talking about how hot he is.
Well, listen, like
She's
he's got...
in the middle of her bad boy phase.
No, but
Oh
let me just...
no.
There's someone even that really just snapped off, and I thought Jet. I was like, oh, Jet's kind of peaked above everyone. But then I swear, every episode, Zuko has some kind of glow up. I don't know how the boy does it, but he got taller and he has like some shaggy hair going now. And I was like, hello, Fire Lord. How are you doing today?
Oh dear me. All right.
You
But-
certainly are in the bad boy phase.
All in all, very good episode. Very good learning about the Daily being even more just
Yeah.
Corrupt.
Of all our
Oh, and
Bad.
the scene
actresses,
where Longfang's in prison and he gets his food given to him. I'm like,
That's
that's a
next
good
episode.
prison meal.
that's next
And
episode.
then
Oh, and then they
yeah.
were like, we're still loyal.
like I said, it all blurs in one movie.
It really is, but yeah, that's in The Earth King, which is the next episode.
Yeah.
That's right. Let's
Everybody
get to
decide.
the king.
Sokka's able to talk everybody into going to the Earth King, trying to convince him to save the world with them.
Mm-hmm.
And
They
the Earth
finally-
King takes some convincing.
He does. He is convinced, though.
He is.
I like the Earth King. I like him a
He's
lot.
cool. I think he's
Yeah,
cute.
he was cool.
He
Like,
trusts
he's pretty
Bosco's
naive.
instincts.
He's pretty naive, but he's a good person.
And I mean, I buy it. Like, he's been controlled by the Dai Li his whole life. He's never left the palace.
Mhm.
Yeah. And after being quarantined for 2 weeks, I can tell you how frustrating that can be. But imagine your whole life.
Yeah. And the only time you get to go out is after somebody assaults your castle.
Yeah.
That whole sequence, the storming the palace sequence.
Have fun storming the castle.
Also, I feel like he should have had a bigger reaction because he thought that he was in control. That's the part that I thought he should have had a bigger reaction of, because
Yeah.
Do you
He
think
thought-
that you're in charge?
he thought that he was the one in control, and then he finds out that pretty much half the people are against him, especially his trusted advisor. He should
I mean,
have.
he only really
blew
thinks the
up.
advisor is against him because the
But
Dailies
still.
still arrest him.
Still,
It's like, okay,
His
the Dailies
close-
on my side.
the closest advisor, I would have been livid.
He got Jafar'd.
Yeah, I was about to say,
He
got
did. He got-
Jafar'd. I would have
He
been
got
livid.
played.
I
I
would have
think
been like death penalty.
I think that's another like one of the 20-minute
There-
limitations.
There is no death penalty in Boxing City.
No, they just send you down to fight an Earthbender. You might take a rock in the chest.
Yeah.
Yeah. The boulder wins this round.
Let me say, there were sadder scenes than Jet's death because every time Bosco
Bears.
got on the screen and then they tried
Oh.
to like sell me Bosco and Bosco was being adorable, I was just like, they're gonna eat you. They're gonna eat
When I was rewatching them earlier, a few hours ago, every time they would show a scene with Bosco, I was like, oh, Nora probably watched this and was like,
I did. It was so sad.
You only have yourself to blame, Olivia.
it's fine with me.
It was the saddest thing, and they got him to like pose and be cute and like look up and glance and be like, "Hon," I'm like, "Oh, you poor little ignorant bear, you're going to die."
Well, isn't Korra set like hundreds of years after this?
Not hundreds, but a while.
No.
A while.
Not long enough.
Ugh, you'll. I mean, we don't need to talk about Bosco death. We really don't. He's alive
No, we
and well
don't.
in this series, and that's
It's-
all you need.
That's all that matters.
No, that's a lie. You know it, but it's okay.
He's alive and well in this series. That's not a lie.
He went up to the farm upstate.
Oh,
He went out to the lake in the country. Bosco the Earth King has invited you to Lake Laogai.
Oof.
Watch out for rocks.
oh no.
Anyway, moving on.
Anyway, moving right along.
Let me see what else happens in this episode.
A lot actually. They
A lot.
all get. Aang gets the message from the Guru. Toph gets captured.
Oh, first of all,
Toph-
Toph
Panel
gets
bending.
Well, first
Well,
of all,
that's next
Toph gets a
episode.
letter from her mother, supposedly. And then I'm like, doing my best Admiral Akbar there. It's a trap.
Because her mother writes the letter to the blind girl.
Yeah.
Should have been a
When,
tip.
when they're like, Toph Befong. And Katara
She
opens
passes it to Toph. Toph passes it to Katara. Like, read
Oh,
this
there's
for
a
me.
lot.
Toph's like, what do you expect me to do with this?
The best blind joke was in the last episode. What, you think I
Oh,
can't put
yeah.
up posters on my own?
Yes.
It's like, it's upside down, isn't it?
Oh, and Sokka's like, this is my appa. And Toph's like, looks really good to me. Oh, thank you. Why do
I
you
think it
feel the
looks
need to
just
do
like him.
this?
Why do you feel the need to do that to me?
Perfect. We stand.
Love her blind jokes.
So good. Yeah. But she thinks she's going to talk to her mom. It turns out it's
Nope.
it's the Joiks who've been tracking her for the past season or so.
Oh, hey, there's
Yeah,
one
yeah,
thing
no,
I wanted
that's
to
not-
mention
What?
during the previous episode. When Zuko was planning to capture Appa,
Mm-hmm.
his conversation with Iroh, that
Yeah.
really stuck out to me.
Yeah, Iroh does not usually shout, but he had to get
No, he
something
was
through
mad.
Zuko's dense skull.
And he was a
I'm
little...
begging you, Prince Zuko. Use your fucking head.
Yeah, basically.
Language.
Is he gonna put him in our new apartment? Should I put on a pot of tea for him?
I loved when he was saying that. I was like,
I was
Zuko.
like, oh, that's shipping fuel for Nora.
No, no,
Don't
no. Not
bring
bringing it up.
up.
Wait, they were
No.
in the same room. I didn't even think about that. He was protecting
Oh, I
Appa.
should not have mentioned this.
He was protecting Appa, his best friend.
What hath he wrought, Jarron?
What? Oh, God, no.
I think
Iroh and
well,
Appa
I
are
think it was
best
more
friends.
like he was trying to get Zuko not to bring Appa to his apartment.
That's why he
You
yelled.
shit everywhere. We
It
don't
won't
want to
even
sweep
fit
up
through the
that
doorway.
fur.
I can't stand it. Moving on, please. Let's move
Moving
on.
on.
Oh, but yeah, the guys tracking Toph, I literally forgot they existed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
the last
almost like-
we saw of them was when they were trying to catch Zuko and Iroh.
I really did think, oh, they're just saving them for season 3, but no.
Yeah,
I think it could work as a misdirection if you're like you haven't seen them for a while. They're probably not on your mind when Toph's going to see her mom, and then it's a big surprise. But it also so obviously screams trap that you're like, oh yeah, those guys.
Oh, as soon as she walked in, I was like, yep.
Toph gets put in a box.
Well, the letter could have very
Spend the
well
night
been.
in the box.
The letter could have very well been from her mother, just because her dad did hire them to bring her back home.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
her
her
mother
dad's the
could
dick.
just be in on it.
Her dad's dead. What?
Her dad's the dick.
Oh, yeah, he is.
I was like,
Nora said, "When did that happen?"
He might as well be dead. He's dead to Toph.
Oof.
true. This is true.
And also, some Kyoshi warriors come to protect the Earth King. Very nice people.
As soon
As
as
we-
I heard 3 female warriors, I was like, oh, crap. Oh, no.
I
See,
did not pick up on it.
Very convincing costumes too.
3 female warriors.
so you know what? How that fight last episode with Appa's Last Days ended.
Mm-hmm.
Are they
Yep.
dead? Are they
No.
dead?
They got eaten like Bosco. Anyway,
Whoa. Whoa.
Don't tell
No.
her that.
No, Daniel.
Whoa. Whoa.
There are just things you can't tell her.
Whoa.
I'm joking.
No, Nora. They're
Calm
fine.
down.
We're moving on.
They're not dead?
They're
No.
fine.
I mean, I don't know if they're not dead, but
All right.
I'm going to assume they're
Yeah,
alive.
Azula's not an earthbender, so she can't kill them.
Are they naked? They don't have any clothes. What are they gonna do?
They probably have clothes underneath the garments.
Nora, moving on.
Avatar Kyoshi always wore an undershirt, so the Kyoshi warriors do as well. They're good.
All right.
They're good. Moving right along.
Yeah, so going into the next episode, the gang is all split up.
Sokka gets to see
Azula.
his dad.
Yeah,
Okay,
and Bato
so-
makes his return as well.
This was, I'm pretty sure, a deliberate reference to The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
With everyone splitting up and Aang going off to the Guru and sensing his friends were in danger, and the Guru was like, "No, stay here, you will."
You must
It's
complete
pretty
your
weird when
training.
it was weird when the Guru turned green for one shot and had big ears. But anyway,
And then he lifted an
I-
X-Wing out of nowhere. Like, what the heck happened?
yeah, what's going on here? Anyway, it really reminded me of The Empire Strikes Back, and I would not be surprised if that was intentional.
I didn't even think of that when I was watching it.
Yeah, it's another one of those showing their influences.
Yeah, absolutely. And I
I
mean, Dave
Oh.
Filoni, he left the show after season 1 to go do Clone Wars, but still.
Can't stop talking about him.
love,
He's a legend.
I know he is.
Okay.
Go on, Nora.
Go ahead. I'm sorry for man interrupting.
Every single time I open my mouth. Okay. I loved the guru. I loved his character. I loved his characterization. I loved especially the way they drawed him. Drew?
Drew.
Who knows?
Drew.
Animated him. When there was like several shots where they zoomed in on just his face, and there was so much detail in his face.
Ugh,
Yeah.
he looks downright ancient.
He was a solid character.
He was cool. I liked him.
He's super cool.
The onion and banana juice. I'm gonna have to question that.
Can I please have some more onion and banana juice?
It just, you know. First off, does he like spend half his day squeezing onions to get the juice? Like,
Can you squeeze an onion?
You could just mallet them a bunch of times and then squeeze the juice out.
yeah, you still have to squeeze.
And is that all he eats?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, apparently
you,
they're
saw
not
how,
in there.
you saw how skinny he was.
Oh, we didn't talk about it. The juke. Nobody
Oh,
knows
yeah.
what I'm freaking talking
No,
about.
No, I
It's
know.
I know what you're.
It's on the
Talking
Zuko
about-
side of things, but we were
Yeah.
talking about Guru Patik. Come on.
Yes, but I've shifted.
In addition,
The Guru gets like 2 episodes in the entire series. Come on, give him this.
wait, he doesn't come back.
It's juke.
Wait, does he not
Okay,
come back?
so
Aww.
anyway, in addition to being Yoda, he reminded me a lot of Gandhi and Dalsim from Street Fighter.
Oh, and I loved the shot of him looking down on Aang with the stars, and when they reference back to it, because it does look like a fantasy, like in your head sort of thing, but
Yeah.
the way that they angled it, brilliant work. Ta-da,
Yeah.
fabulous.
What I love about that whole side of the episode is just we're basically doing rapid fire character development for Aang in every single scene.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I didn't think Aang was lacking character development anyway, but it was
No.
it was a nice surprise.
He's already a really strongly developed character, and it's just like now we're gonna do that times 20 in 10
Yeah.
minutes. Hold on to your seat.
He popped off. He really did. He popped off.
He popped off, whatever that
The
means.
popping was off the chart.
Popped off most of those chakras.
Oh, Nora.
Olivia.
We get confirmation this episode. I'm kind of involved with Suki.
This is true.
I know. It was about dang time he turned down someone that flirted with him. Jeez,
I think that's actually in
Louise.
the next episode, but in this episode, in case you absolutely needed it,
mine
Aang says he loves
together.
Katara.
Mine was like 47 minutes long.
Oh, yeah, that's true, but they're technically separate episodes.
Technically, because they have a little title card break.
Oh, mine didn't.
Oh.
Aang tells Katara he loves her.
Well, he wants to say that
Well,
to
he
her face.
wants
He
to.
says it to Guru Patik.
Yeah. She knows, though, with that whole message when he was leaving, and he was like, I need to tell you something. And then Sokka butted in, and she gave him a little kiss on
It's
the
time
cheek.
for a man trip.
I love Aang Tora.
Same here. We're not going to talk about the other garbage.
No,
that
don't even
involves-
bring it up, Jarron. Why would you do that?
Well, because there's some hinting at it in this
No,
episode.
there's no hinting.
There was no hinting
have-
at Iroh and Appa in either of these two.
Shut up! No. You've lost the right to speak.
This is the episode, the very end, almost one of the
I'm
ends.
messing with you. I love you,
Thanks.
Daniel.
And that makes just like me so upset because people use the specific episode to point out the Zutara ship, but they have one single conversation and then he messes it all up and they never come back to it. Zutara in the trash can.
Trash.
Burn the trash. No. Please don't bring it up, Nora. I will delete your number. I will do it.
She
She's
technically has the
walking.
power to kick you out of the call, so I would.
I agree. Aang and Katara are superior. However, however, I see where the other people are coming from.
No, where? Where are they coming from?
I don't know.
Coming from the sewers where they're coming from.
Hell.
Where are they coming from? Because she has a moment of empathy for his poor, sad life.
They connected. They had a spark. They're both attractive. I also like shipping things that are not the main ship.
It is a main ship in lots of people's lives.
Fine.
The voice actors for both Zuko and Katara ship it.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
But the thing about it is people say it's a connection, but I think they mistake it for Katara having sympathy for him, and then he just puts it in the trash.
Listen, he's going through a rough time, and he's a teddy bear, as we clearly see in a few scenes. He reverts, but you know.
Yeah. We probably should rewind a bit. After Zuko sets Appa free, it turns out making good decisions causes him to get very sick.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
He's got an imbalance in his soul.
Yep, and he has some really trippy dream sequences.
Yes.
We get to see a teenage Aang! Thank you, Zuko.
I hated that.
This is all you've ever given me.
I hated that with my whole heart and soul and body. I did not like that at all. I think I literally screamed when that shot
The
came
visual
up.
image of Zuko with basically the top of Aang's head is kind of haunting.
Yeah. Cursed image.
It's about as cursed as Dragon Azula.
He looked like a monk egg.
Well, okay,
The
so
episode where Zuko turns into an egg.
the dream in which the two dragons, the angel and devil on the shoulder, as it were, that was good. I like that.
Is very good. See, I like that one the best.
Setting up some stuff for Crossroads of Destiny.
Yes!
Yeah, boy.
Oh yeah, it did do that. I just noticed that. Big brain power.
It sets up some other stuff too, but it's like later on in the series.
Okay.
So yeah. And after that whole thing, when Zuko wakes up, he's very uncharacteristically happy.
Yeah.
Even I was like, dude, you were smiling. What's wrong?
Yeah, I didn't like that, to be honest, because I felt like there was no resolution in his dream, so I don't really understand why.
The resolution was turning into an egg with an arrow on his head.
Empathy, put yourself in the place of me.
Oh, was that it?
Kinda. I mean,
I don't know.
it was a lot of things.
Maybe it's out of fear of like from the dragon dream. Like after he listened to Azula, he like fell into despair in the dream. But I don't know. I didn't like the huge shift because half of me was like, yeah, it's teddy bear, and then the other half of me was like, it's not the teddy bear I want because it just seems so fake. But we're getting close.
Well, I'm
Personally,
sure you'll be
I
very
feel
happy.
like it was kind of a facade because it cracks pretty easily once Azula shows up.
I
Yeah.
think,
I think he was doing kind of like a fake it till you make it kind of thing.
yeah, he was lying.
He was trying to
And
pretend.
Part of it was he was definitely trying to be like really happy for Iroh on the opening of his big day.
He was trying. Yeah, he was also trying to be. I think he was trying to show Iroh he was more mature, but then when he was faced with his actual problem, he reverted back to it.
Yes. I agree. But
I
I do
agree.
think it served as foreshadowing to the teddy bear that Zuko will
We'll see,
inevitably
because
Well, you
become.
know, he had a chance to turn teddy bear in this episode, and well, in the next episode, and he had
he
a.
turned
You have to have a
feral
build.
Yeah.
rabbit bear.
You have to have a build. He's already connected with Katara, so he's in with one member. He's got
No,
like
he's not.
yes, he did.
He burned the bridge. His
Oh, yeah.
sister killed Aang.
That's right. I forgot. But listen,
It was only temporarily.
there's hope. Iroh is in. Iroh's in.
No,
Yes.
he's
He's in
Iroh's
prison.
Iroh, okay, listen, but Iroh has their trust more. And so Zuko can just hop on Iroh's back and ride the teddy bear.
Iroh's not talking to Zuko.
Yeah.
But he will eventually.
But
Zuko betrayed him.
It doesn't matter.
Nora, you're
They'll
quite
be
hopeful.
united.
I would say that much. You are quite hopeful
They're
for
a
that.
duo. He can't disown him forever. He loves him.
okay,
He's
but
just
He loves him, but
Nora.
he doesn't have to be happy with him.
I
Yeah,
think
no, but he'll
I
forgive
think
him.
you have to look at what is happening in this last episode and just take it as it is for now and just be like, Iroh is not happy with Zuko. Everybody on Team Avatar hates Zuko.
But
He has
Zuko
no
will.
chance right now.
No,
I don't know
not
what
now.
to tell you.
Not now. But in the future.
You are something else.
In the future. It's gonna happen. There's no way.
Look, you can say in the future all you want, but in the now, Zuko has kind of
Zuko has burned all.
burned a lot of bridges.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
When it happens, I will throw a party for myself. You're all invited to my
Oh,
I was right party.
well, before we really talk about Zuko's decision later on, there's definitely some other parts of the Guru that we want to talk about. So,
Yeah.
Katara's side of the story, Sokka's side of the story, or Toph's side of the story? Which do you want to go
Toph.
for first?
Toph.
I figured.
Suck.
So, in case you needed more proof, Toph is the best earthbender of all time.
Yeah.
I think it's funny how they're like, Toph, even you can't resist metal. And she's like,
It was woven in so beautifully with Guru Patik's lesson to Aang as well.
Yes.
Yes!
That transition.
Yep. And Toph
That-
just sensing the little bits of unpurified earth within the metal and being like, yeah, I can work with this.
Yeah,
she
they've done,
invented that.
they've done really well with that recently. Like with the whole jet hypnotism sequence going back and forth. They did that again here. And it worked.
Yeah,
so
parallel
well.
editing. It's
It
really,
worked so
really
well.
strong, these episodes. And I just love, it's another one of her tricks. There's a giant hole in the wall. How does
I just love it so much. She's perfect. I
Yeah,
love her.
Olivia, can you do the line where she says, "I'm the greatest earthbender in the world"?
No, because it's gonna suck.
Don't you two dunderheads ever forget it?
That was an iconic moment. She
Yeah.
snapped.
I told
Everybody
you.
should snap.
Jaren, I
snapped.
can do Azula better than I can do Toph.
Well, speaking of Azula, she and the gang
That little-
knock out Katara.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Uh,
first Katara sees Zuko and Iroh in the little tea shop.
Yeah. She goes
And-
to warn Suki.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out is not Suki.
Not Suki.
Yep. And Azula straight up playing the Dai Li like a fiddle.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a
Love
pink
it.
fiddle.
I think the guard's description of her is also very much how I feel. She's like terrifying, but also inspiring somehow. like I mean, not inspiring to me, but like she's terrifying, but she's so good at being terrifying that you have to like nod your head at her. Like,
Just later on, when she completely dresses down Long Fang.
yes,
Yes! I love that part.
she really
Oh.
was vicious to him.
Where she's like, I know. You know. And then she just
Look,
sits on the throne.
just-
Ooh!
You've beaten me at my own game. Don't flatter yourself. You were never even a
Never a
player.
You were
player.
never
Just-
even a prop!
Frickin'
Queen.
owns.
That was a
The
burn.
queen of evil and
That
darkness.
would hurt.
She has had
Like-
so many good bad guy lines over the course of the season, but this is the best one.
And the
Oh
thing
my
is, like with
God.
Zuko, there's clear signs of him possibly being a teddy bear until he ruins it all. She is just so delightfully, irredeemably evil.
Oh yeah.
Like, you want to see her rot in jail or see her on the throne.
Yes.
And we get to see her on the throne in Crossroads of Destiny.
I love
Yep.
how she literally takes over the impenetrable bossing, say, literally days, I think.
Yeah.
48
Not
hours.
Even like one day.
Yeah.
24 hours later, Sula is just queen of bossing say now.
She said,
This is
forget
fine.
the wall.
This is fine, the little cartoon dog.
She said, forget the wall. We're going into the wall. We're becoming the wall.
And you know.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, that all happens. And we get some Sokka and his dad moments, which is also a very nice
Heartwarming.
part of the episode.
Mm,
He loves his dad. Heartwarming. And his dad's, like, really proud of him.
I know.
I love
those,
that. Most
those were-
shows, like,
those were necessary, adorable scenes in between all the other heartbreak and defeat moments.
yeah, we needed that. Sokka needed that. My boy, I'm so proud of him.
Yep. And so that's about it for the Guru. We are on the last episode of the season. So holy crap.
Yeah. Here we are in the future, and it's bad.
Wah!
So first things first, Iroh's demonstration.
yes.
My
got
my
the nickname,
dude,
the Dragon of the West.
he breathes fire like a
He's like,
dragon.
I don't have time for one of your antidotes. And he's like, oh, it's more of a demonstration.
Just takes a sip of hot tea. It does the cartoon meme of having fire breath after drinking something hot, but it's actually an attack.
Yep, he is that powerful. Yeah, so Iroh, well, first of all, when Aang and Sokka return to Ba Sing Se, Toph's like, oh, here's my old friend. And in comes Iroh. And
Just like General Iroh of the Fire Nation, my old friend. We had tea once.
Aang and Sokka are just horrified.
Oh yeah, we get some Iroh to Aang advice while they're
That was
looking
good.
for
The tunnel.
Zuko and Katara.
It was great. I like that.
Iroh's such
Great.
a good man.
He's a great dad.
See, Iroh is already in. Iroh's in.
But that doesn't mean little monster nephew is.
Iroh's in prison for treason.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
I mean, Aang has definitely come around to Iroh.
Yeah,
That's because
who wouldn't?
everyone comes around to Iroh.
Well, yeah.
Eventually.
But yeah,
Oof.
they go underground to look for Azula and Katara. Meanwhile, Sokka and Toph are trying to warn the Earth King. Get in a bit of a scuffle with the fake Kyoshi warriors until Azula just decides to threaten the man's life.
Yep. That's how it be.
They were winning too. I was proud of them.
Yeah, they were doing solid. And
Yeah.
then Azula just is like, I will murder him.
Psych.
Straight up murder him.
Psych. Say psych right now.
And that was like the hardest they've ever been challenged, the three of them. Usually they kind of wipe out the gang pretty fast. I think it's because Toph was fighting. I'm just gonna say it.
Toph is technically the most powerful earthbender.
Also because Ty Lee was flirting with Sokka.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't think she was paying that much attention.
Like, I feel like
Kylie is.
Katara could be a good match for them, but she's never near water when they're fighting, except for that one time. It was like the first time's fighting. So that was.
Can we talk about how Katara, like, what is the word? She like, what is it? What's the word? I don't know English. She, I don't know the word, but she took away Azula's arm and her leg, incapacitated. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, she incapacitated her, and you could see the fear in Azula's eyes before Zuko stepped in.
Yeah.
She was scared. That girl was scared.
I forgot about the ending scene. Yes, Katara is an even match, but it's because she had freaking water. Katara could, like, do some damage.
As long as Katara has water, she's good. If all she has is her little flask, it's a no-go.
I know.
Yeah.
It's not fair. Okay, because I think waterbenders have the coolest moves, but they're also, I think, maybe the weakest just because they have to be near water, and it sucks.
There is no water in this air.
That's why they all live in the North and South Pole or a swamp.
I actually think, okay, to me, if I were to like rank, I know this is kind of a little detour, but if I were to rank the bending styles from most powerful to least, it would be water and fire and air and earth. But I think air and earth kind of like go hand in hand. But water is definitely the most powerful to me.
It would be if water was always accessible.
Yeah, I feel like water...
No. Not by the most accessible, just by what's the most powerful.
Well, I think that's very situational. Like, if they're nearby a big source of water, definitely the most powerful in the room. But if they're not, they're the weakest by far.
Yeah. It's like Aqualad.
Earthbenders, you only need a couple of rocks and you can do some good stuff with that. But yeah, they can also be taken away from their element too. So I would say it's probably fire as the strongest, just from destructive force alone.
Fire just burns and destroys things.
I feel like water should, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think water should be how fire is. They should just be able to summon water just like fire can summon fire.
What's your excuse? You run out of ice.
Water's the most powerful.
There we go.
One day you'll all agree with me, and it'll be amazing.
I agree
It'll
with
be
you.
amazing.
I mean, when you can turn into a water Godzilla, yeah, you're the most powerful. When you can't do that...
And Aang, like, he like coats himself in like crystals and has like armor for a minute.
Forgot about that, like a geode suit. Oh god.
He's just like, all right, I'm going to be a Power Ranger for a few seconds. We'll see if this works. Oh, it does not.
Yeah, that
feels bad, man.
That was anticlimactic because he had conquered it. He was gonna be in the Avatar state, and then they shoot him in the back. They shoot him from behind. First of all, that's shameful. Second of all,
this is Azula.
Wait, I was about to say it's Azula. Are you surprised?
No, but normally
she fights dirty.
She takes pride in her fighting.
No.
It was
no, she fights dirty.
She's always fought
kill
dirty.
the Earth King.
Listen, I didn't even know the ending to the second season was the ending of the second season because, as I said, I watched like 10 seconds of the beginning of the third season.
Very anticlimactic to, tell you at the start of the season, if you die in the Avatar state, it's all over. And then to watch Aang be killed in the Avatar state.
Yeah, but I feel like since the third season is fire, that we should have at least concluded something in Ba Sing Se since that's Earth. I don't know.
It was concluded. They lost. They lost everything.
So the Fire Nation has Ba Sing Se.
Yeah.
Yeah, she says it at. He says it at the end of the episode.
Says it.
Oh,
it's over. Azula won.
Yeah, it was really late.
Yeah, it really is an Empire Strikes Back situation.
Yeah, that's true. It was really late by the time I finished that episode. So.
Well, even that last shot, or that last scene when they were on Appa, was reminiscent of the last shot of Empire Strikes Back, where they're just like licking their wounds because they got beat.
Dang.
Yeah, Aang took a lightning bolt to the frickin' spine.
Oh,
yeah.
he totally died for a few minutes. Dead.
I can never tell when it's a lightning bolt. I
It'll
think,
look
The
pretty
sound
distinct.
effects and the lightning drawings don't give it away.
no, I was very tired. I just was kind of like, oh man,
She
down.
probably
Oh.
she probably saw the blue and was just like, oh, it's just the fire because Azula's fire is blue.
Yeah, and I was like, dang, man down. I was like, that did not take a lot. That was very easy. Like, and yeah. Maybe the Avatar state shouldn't take a whole minute to wind up and levitate in the air. Like, maybe we should cut some of the...
That's because he had to unlock that whole chakra again.
Yeah, he had to connect to it again and then let Katara go. And so when he was connecting to it, she hit him, and he died for a few minutes.
No, yeah, I get that. But no, he does that every time. Like, and I get it's because he's summoning all his powers. But every time, it's kind of funny to think about it. He's, like, taking a minute to, like, show off this beautiful magical power, and he levitates, like, 100 feet in the air, and everyone just stops and looks at him. But,
I
like,
think it's because people know that you're not supposed to kill him while he's in the Avatar state because it will mess up the balance of the world.
so they just...
And
like,
Azula's just like...
Well, I think it's also you're often conditioned to not expect people to be attacked during their power-up scene. And
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
whole thing flips that on its head.
well,
You would
yeah,
think
I
that would be where Aang completely
But
triumphed.
also, I think he did like his little moment thing because he couldn't control it before.
No, he does that
So he
every
couldn't,
time.
yeah, but he couldn't control it, and he still couldn't control it in that moment.
But what I'm saying is, how has this not happened before? Like, how has nobody just, like, shot him while he's winding up for a whole minute, being like, look at me, look at my glorious...
Because he
avatar."
hasn't wound up for a whole minute before.
He
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
always
this-
levitates like that, like, for a hot second. He always...
Okay, so the very first time we see him go into the Avatar state, way back in book 1, he's underwater when he goes Avatar state. There's no
he, like,
wind
takes
period.
a second. He, like, lights up, he sits there for a second, and then he ba-bangs.
So they were supposed to kill him while he was 20 feet underwater.
No, that doesn't count because he's 20 feet underwater. When
The
he's not 20
second
feet under-
time he did the Avatar state was with Katara and Sokka.
Yeah, that was at the air temple. There were no enemies around. When he went Avatar state against the Sandbenders, there was no wind-up. He just started blowing up their ships.
Exactly.
When he went
First
Avatar
one,
state
he got
in the...
angry, like...
No, he just opened his eyes and it was like, poosh. And he
When he went Avatar state against the General, nobody was going to attack him there because they had successfully gotten him into the Avatar state.
Okay,
yeah, they wanted
well,
him to be in that.
Well, then that makes sense why no one's done it before. But if I'm just saying, if he
Yeah, the
actually
first time there was an
does do the
opportunity for
Avatar-
someone to do it. Somebody did it. So...
Okay, so what I'm saying is he should really work on the presentation, or this is going to be a repetitive thing, my friend. We
Nora,
need Avatar and fire. Avatar
Nora, he can't access it anymore.
Yeah, he's lost the power.
Wait, what the heck? I'm so confused. Because I thought he was saying that, and then Aang was like, just kidding, and he avatared, and then he happened to get shot.
No,
So now-
listen.
So,
He had to reconnect to the Avatar state because he left the Guru before he could do it.
Yeah.
He closed himself in the little crystals and he went to reconnect. And while he was reconnecting, Azula shot him dead. So he's not
Punk
connected
move.
to it and he can't get back to it. So he can't go into the Avatar state.
Ever?
that's... Okay, Olivia, that's a bit of information exclusive to book 3.
No, it's not.
I missed the part in the final episode of book 2 where they say, "Oh, I can't do the Avatar state anymore because I
The
got shot in the
Guru
back."
told him if he doesn't connect, he can't go into the Avatar state. And she
Yeah, he
killed
did,
him
because
before
the
he
chakra
was
was
fully
blocked.
able to connect.
And
So
then
that
he talked
implies
about-
he can't go
Olivia.
into the Avatar state.
Except he did because he unblocked the chakra and now he's gotten shot in the back.
See, that's what I was saying. I was confused because I thought he unblocked it, and now he can just go into the Avatar state, and he happened to die.
No.
But now he can't at all because he got shot in the back.
Well, for now, I guess.
That's stupid. That's stupid. So if you get injured at all,
This is why you
during
don't
the
give them
Avatar-
information before the show chooses to deliver it. All I'm
Is
saying.
that a spoiler?
No, not to me.
Was
Yeah,
it a-
but to the people who haven't seen it before, Olivia.
Mm. Well, that's stupid. Like,
Let's
first of
move
Oh
on.
boy.
We don't want another Coco situation.
yeah,
No, we don't want another cactus juice situation.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, that was a genuine misunderstanding on my part. I will go to the grave.
I'm not upset about this one because I was already confused and I didn't know what was happening.
It's okay.
Well, anyway, that was season 2. I wasn't happy with the ending because I just was like, "Where's the beef?" But I think I was very tired. So
You were very tired, apparently.
I was tired apparently, and I was just like, "There should be more." But now it's clicked.
I mean, there's a whole season more.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it.
I'm ready for Jarron to see the first 10 seconds because I was ready to go.
Well, I'm probably
First
going to
10
watch
seconds.
it when we finish this. That's usually what I do when we finish the episode,
Yeah, so-
the podcast.
It's very funny.
So we will be watching the first 4 episodes of season 3.
Wait, did you say first 3 or 4?
The first 4.
Okay.
So season 3, the back half of season 3 is going to be. It was difficult to plot this out because the back half of season 3 has this awkwardly placed 2-parter that
Mhm.
makes plotting out how you're going to watch it in 3 or 4 episode bites a little difficult.
Mm.
So there will be a point where we only do 2 episodes for one of these.
Okay.
But the trade-off is there will be 3 times where we do 4 episodes.
Yay!
Nice.
So I hope that makes up for it.
Yeah, it does.
Which ones are the 2 episodes? Is it going to be like the intro or the finale?
It's going to be right before the finale. It's going to be a
Alright.
little while before we do it. The only 2.
All right.
Is it true that the grand finale is like movie length?
It is 4 episodes.
Mhm.
It's a
Wow.
4-part, and we'll watch it all in one go.
Okay, so I've heard it's listed as like a movie length episode, like an hour and a half.
Yeah, it is. It's a big
Okay.
old one.
Dang.
Awesome. I'm ready to go. I'm ready for this.
He's going to have to find a fire mentor, which could be our Teddy Bear Zuko. Or
I was
Yeah,
I think
there
it's
was-
more likely. It's more likely the Iroh, I think.
There was teddy bear betrayal this episode, Nora.
Yeah.
I'm still like,
There's
it's gotta be.
It's
these
gonna
wounds that will not heal.
no. Listen, I just
Yeah,
can't
like-
deny the truth.
Zuko and Kantara.
The Nile's
they
not just a
almost-
river in Egypt.
They almost were able to pull him over to the good side by bonding over, disappearing mums, but it didn't quite work. She even offered to heal his face scar, and that wasn't enough.
Well, it was going to happen, but then who butted in? Someone butted in.
Azula butted in.
Azula butted in. How rude.
Yeah, we got that whole scene that was basically the 2 dragons again, except in real life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that happened. But now she can't use the water because she had to use it to save Aang or whatever, so he wouldn't die.
Excuse me? Excuse me? Are you gonna say that again?
Olivia's right here,
No,
Do you want
Yeah.
to say it again?
Goodness,
no,
just
I know.
the
I was
looks of
kidding.
sheer terror and heartbreak on Katara's face when Aang goes down.
Yeah,
Ugh.
it was sad. But I mean, there's another season, so we kind of had plot armor. I wasn't really concerned.
Still,
Fine.
though, I think that does leave a bit of an impact because of the Avatar state.
He'll be fine.
Like, that they won't kill Aang off.
Nora's just like, I'm so tired. I'm just gonna pretend there was no emotional investment.
Fine.
It's a kid
You-
show. He'll be fine. He'll
Like
be
Jet
fine.
was fine.
Jet is a side character. Jet is a side character.
50
Who's
minutes
also
ago, you were like
allegedly
Jet.
really
was
hot,
a
according to you.
Avatar. It's called Avatar: The Last Airbender. You
Okay,
can't
so I
kill
knew
the
Aang wasn't going to
Avatar.
die, but I knew it would have some sort of, effect on Katara, Sokka, Toph.
Listen,
Because,
Especially
you know-
Bosco. Bosco took it pretty hard.
don't you dare. Don't you
Delicious.
I'm not even allowed to mention like Bosco's parts of the episode where
Can't
Tyler
say the
was
B
trying to teach
word.
him how to do a handstand. I can't even mention that without you being like, "Oh, Bosco."
I love Zuko's voice actor, Dante Bosco.
Stop it. You are all evil people that are looking
Oh
at
yeah,
Hermione.
sad news. Dante Bosco also gets eaten.
You're all bullying me. You're all bullying me. I'm reporting you. Someone-
We're only bullying you because you shipped Zutara.
No,
You're
Ooh.
not right.
Oh!
You ship
I said-
Zutara, you get bullied.
no. I said Aang and Katara are the main ship, but however,
These are like, but
Oh man, Iroh ex Appa found dead in a ditch.
that was not funny.
All
it was
right,
hilarious.
guys,
why did
Guys,
I think
I
she
think
was
we've
gonna
had-
be like, you know what?
we've had a great episode. It was fun.
It was.
Somebody should sing us out.
Okay, Nora, go.
I don't really have a specific song to sing or whatever, except I have this Pixar quote to translate into referring to this episode. Bosco is friends, not food.